There are moments in life when truth doesn't just inspire, it interrupts. Not to confuse you, not to break you, but to wake you up. We've all grown up hearing that Jesus died on Friday afternoon and rose on Sunday morning. And yet, something doesn't sit right when we compare that tradition with the very words of Jesus himself. What if there's more to the story? What if Jesus didn't die on Friday? And what if the truth, not the tradition, is even more beautiful, more flawless, and more faith building than we ever imagined? Let's begin where Jesus did. In Matthew 12, verse 40, Jesus says, "For as Jonah was 3 days and 3 nights in the belly of the great fish, so will the Son of Man be 3 days and 3 nights in the heart of the earth." Now, this is not a side comment. This is the only sign he gave to a doubting generation. 3 days and 3 nights. Not symbolic, not poetic, a literal measurement of time. 24 hours plus 24 hours plus 24 hours. 72 hours. And yet, from Friday afternoon to early Sunday morning, we only get about 36 hours. Let's walk it out. Friday before sunset, he is buried. Friday night, night 1. Saturday, day 1. Saturday night, night 2. Sunday morning, but he's already risen. That's at best 2 nights and 1 full day. Now, if Jesus said 3 days and 3 nights, then either he misspoke, which is impossible, he was misunderstood, which is highly unlikely, or we're reading the timeline through modern eyes instead of Hebrew ones. To understand the cross, you must understand the calendar of heaven. The Jewish day begins not at midnight, but at sunset. Genesis says, "And there was evening, and there was morning, the first day." So to them, the day began when light surrendered to night. Next, in addition to the weekly Sabbath on Saturday, the Jews observed high Sabbaths, holy days tied to the feasts of the Lord. Now, these could fall on any day of the week. That's where John 19, verse 31 gives us a hidden key. Because it was the day of preparation. The Sabbath was a high day. Now, this wasn't the regular weekly Sabbath. This was a special holy day, the first day of unleavened bread, which begins the day after Passover. So, let's reconstruct the week. Tuesday night was the start of Jewish Wednesday. Jesus prays in Gethsemane. Wednesday morning, Jesus is tried, crucified, dies at 3 p.m. That's from Mark 15, verses 34 through 37. Wednesday before sunset, Jesus is buried before the start of the high Sabbath on Thursday. Wednesday night, night 1. Thursday, high Sabbath, day 1. Thursday night, night 2. Friday, day 2. Friday night, night 3. Saturday was the weekly Sabbath, that is day 3. Saturday night, and with the start of Sunday, he rises right after the third night and third day conclude. This timeline gives us a full 72 hours just as Jesus promised. Now, this isn't about theology trivia or calendar correction. This is about the faithfulness of God. If Jesus said 3 days and 3 nights and rose at exactly the right moment, then everything he said is trustworthy down to the hour. And that means every prophecy ever spoken about him was fulfilled with precision. Every promise he has spoken to you will also be fulfilled with the same divine timing. You see, your breakthrough won't come a minute late. Your healing, your calling, your answered prayer, they're on heaven's calendar. Because the God who kept Jesus in the grave just long enough to fulfill the scriptures is the same God who holds your life in his hands. He doesn't forget. He doesn't fumble. And he doesn't miss appointments. Now, lean in because it's going to get deeper. Jesus wasn't crucified on just any day. He died on Passover, the day the Jews sacrificed lambs in remembrance of how God delivered Israel from Egypt by the blood on the doorposts. That wasn't coincidence. That was prophetic alignment. You see, as the lambs were being slaughtered in the temple, the Lamb of God was being slain outside the city walls. As the sun darkened and the earth shook, the real deliverance was happening, not from Egypt, but from sin, death, and hell. And what came next? A Sabbath rest. Jesus rested in the grave, just as God rested after creation. And then, as the first day of the week began, he rose. Not during the day, but sometime after sunset on Saturday, as the third night completed. When the women came before sunrise, the angel said, "He is not here. He has risen." He was already gone. So friend, let me speak to your heart now. Some of you feel like your dream has died. Some of you are walking through your own Gethsemane, or hanging on a cross of grief, rejection, or betrayal. And I know it feels like you've been buried. But let me tell you this. Resurrection never happens until after the third day. You may be in night 1, confused, hurting, praying for God to show up. Or night 2, wondering if he's even listening. Or night 3, when even hope feels like it's fading. But I'm asking you, hold on. Because if Jesus fulfilled his word to the hour, he will fulfill it in your life too. And the stone will roll, the darkness will break, and you will rise, not by your strength, but by the Spirit who raised Christ from the dead. So, Jesus didn't die on Friday. He died on time. He rose on time, and he will return right on time. Heaven is not improvising, and God is not scrambling. You are not forgotten. You are not too late. You are right where grace is meeting you, even in the quiet grave of your waiting. He died when the lambs were slain. He rose when the promise matured. And he's coming back when the time is full. Don't count the days. Trust the one who controls them. God bless you, my friends.